There you go.
Yay! Whoops. And we
So did
have
you do
done.
anything fun? Did you do anything fun on the weekend? It wasn't a bad weekend.
It was a great weekend. I worked Saturday, which is normal.
Yeah.
Sunday, yeah, I kind of took Sunday off,
Well, you should.
and kind of did
Yeah.
nothing, a whole lot of nothing. And
Yeah.
then here it is Monday again. Get to work
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
And
So
what was your
yeah.
weekend? You didn't
We
go.
we actually no more snowmobiling. Snowmobiling's all done.
Uh,
I sold them.
yeah, that's what you were saying. So I know you
Yeah.
didn't go
Yeah.
snowmobiling.
No, we went snowshoeing on Saturday. The wife and I suited up and went out the back in the back field and went snowshoeing, and damn, it was fun.
I've never gone snowshoeing.
Yeah, I bought snowshoes for us a few years ago. And unfortunately didn't have much snow to make it worthwhile. But around here we got some snow, so it was fun. And then what on Saturday? Oh, Saturday we went shopping. Yes, I bought a new toy.
Uh-oh.
Yep,
Are you going to tell us about it or?
I bought a two-wheeler.
Uh-oh. So
Yep,
is this
yep.
a ride-on scooter, like, one of the ones that you kick with your feet? It's got two wheels.
A little bit bigger, a little bit
Little,
bigger than
yeah.
that. Yep.
Does it? How many people does it carry?
It can carry two, but this one's only going to carry one. We're taking the other seat off.
Oh,
So just a one-seater for me.
no
So wife doesn't want to
emergencies.
go. Yep. No, too bad. Sorry. Call a cab.
Oh my goodness, Johnny. Oh, there we go. Hey, and welcome to
Hey.
another episode of the Secrets of Safety Dog, where my guest, John Farquhar, and I, yes, Johnny's a guest, a regular guest on the Secrets of Safety Dog, where we talk about almost anything to do with trucking and CVORs. So, hey, Johnny, let me switch here to boom, 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 boom. There. Hey, see, now we get your logo on the screen and everything.
Oh, geez, I feel like a star, a celebrity.
Well, you are a celebrity. Mr. John. Let me introduce Mr. John Farquhar. Okay. So, Johnny, what are this show is supposed to be the short version of
Yes.
our trucking risk and insurance podcast. Tune in.
Podcast.
But let me just hop over to here. Whoops. That's not what I wanted to share here, and I didn't want to share that
This
one
one.
either. Look at that's my new website coming, Johnny. Coming
Looking
soon.
good, Chris. Looking
Coming
good.
soon.
Hey, tell us who's new on the list, Chris.
Nobody.
Oh, no changes. What the heck?
No changes
Darn.
from
It's been a
last
whole
week.
since we looked last time.
I know. And
Huh.
kind of disappointing, I think, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it
Oh,
is
well.
what it is.
Well, and hopefully it's soon because I'm thinking if we start counting down here, man, we're pushing 4 months.
Well, yeah, and I had a carrier mention to me that they wanted to order some new dash cams, and the dash cams happen to have an ELD built into them. And guess what? He was told it was more than 2 months.
Whoa!
So already we're starting to see a backlog.
Yeah. Now was that with an approved provider?
Yes, it was actually.
Oh, okay, good. Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Yep, cool.
I don't know how many.
Because there's not a whole lot of approved providers on here still.
Hey, I have a question for you. Let's
Okay,
go.
cool.
We're going to go skill testing, unscripted skill testing question. All right. So I'm working with a carrier to do an ASRA, right? Alternate safety risk assessment. They're conditional and they want to become unconditional, so they ask for the audit. The ASRA thing. And they, okay, well, I believe they're farmers. The girl I'm working with didn't know whether they are farmers, but whether they're using farm plates or not. So If they are using farm plates, is an ELD required?
I don't think it matters what plate you're using. It's all based on the radius of where you travel.
Well, no, not quite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, and I don't want to say that you're wrong because I really need to know the answer. Let me see if I can find it very quickly here. Gosh darn, earlier today, because I was on the website that I wanted to show you now that I brought this up. And as you can tell, everybody here, it was unscripted because I wasn't ready. Let me see. If
Perfect. No, this is good to go.
Come on, crank, 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 crank. I got to feed the squirrels. I always accuse you of not feeding the squirrels.
Well, we've got the gray squirrels out here. You know, they're not worth a darn. If you've got gray squirrels in Hamilton, you need the red ones. They're faster.
Okay, come on now. Okay, where? Sure. I pulled up probably the wrong one.
It's right there on the left. The other left.
Exemptions from the regulations. Here we go. So I was looking at this morning. Come on, baby. And let me pull it up onto the screen. Man, is my internet ever slow. And how did that switch over to the wrong?
That's cool.
To the wrong. There we go. Okay, so exemptions. To the hours of service. Road building, where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Here we go. So, number one, a 2 or 3 axle commercial motor vehicle or combination of a 2-axle. Right? So, anyway, the first sentence is this is under exemptions. And to transport primary products of a farm, forest, sea, or lake. If the driver or the operator is the owner or producer of the harvested products. Or to return after transporting these of a farm, forest, sea, or lake. So my key words there are the farm, forest, sea, or lake. And why aren't our pictures on here? My God. Things are just messing up terrible today.
Yeah. So if the motor carrier is the farm operation and they own the product that they're transporting,
correct,
then it looks like there's an exemption.
That's how I
from the
read
regulations.
It. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and this carrier that I'm working with, who has a CVR, is a farmer and only carries their own product. They may go down down near where you are, pick up seedlings, for instance, in the spring and truck them back to their farm and plant them and do all the, but that's all they do.
Sure.
So I'm thinking they're exempt.
So I take it they don't go to the U.S. then at all?
No.
Just stay in Ontario?
No.
Okay.
And they almost never go past the 160 kilometer radius, but they do.
Yeah.
They do.
So the odd time or two they'll get into that.
In the spring, they do to go pick up their seedlings. That's the only time they go past the 160. The rest of the season, and they park their trucks for 3 months, but the rest of the season, you know, it is interesting. And Mr. Chad and Chad, what do you mean that's cutting it close? What did I do now? Just
that was early on. I think that was early on, maybe when we just got going.
Ah, okay. Because I see Chad joined us.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
Whoops.
Tell us, Chad, what you were talking about.
Yeah, and because I wasn't paying attention to the chat. What kind of a guy doesn't pay attention to his chat? But hi, Chad. How are you? Do you know who Chad is, by the way?
I do. Yep. I follow Chad on Twitter and LinkedIn and through here.
Yeah, cool. So, because Chad's got a cool.
Oh, that's
product.
interesting. Okay, so yeah. So.
Well, just give Chad a shout out there. He's got a cool product for local companies to record their vehicle inspections.
Yes.
Right.
With the
And
ELD mandate, he says, yes, it is. That is cutting it very close.
yes,
The time is getting shorter and shorter by the day. Every day it gets less.
it does. How in the see now? I wish I could remember. Oh no, I tell you, 1 week between things is just too long, and customers who need to wait for a few months to get their
Yep.
ELD is what he's saying. Yes,
Yep.
that would be
Yep.
cutting it very close. So let me
Yep.
see if I can
Well,
do
and
that.
take
that.
those that are probably still using OmniTrax are probably starting to sweat bullets, wondering when OmniTrax is going to drop, and some of these other devices that people are currently using, expecting to be approved.
Well, and
So
I don't know if I told you, I have a test unit for Geotab in my
you
vehicle.
do, yes, you do. Yep.
And
Yep.
so I was had a meeting with Geotab last week, going over all the different reports and how to use it and different things like that. So I had a great meeting,
Yep.
and
Cool.
they're not on the list yet. Like there's
Yeah, exactly. That's
So-
a big Canadian outfit. So,
yeah, huge Canadian
Yeah.
outfit. So I was, anyways. And by the way, I did extend. I haven't checked my email to see if Chad has answered me, but I invited Chad back onto the Trucking Risk and Insurance podcast.
Woohoo! Come on, Chad, come join us again.
So we'll see if Chad accepts the challenge or not.
Ooh, there you go.
All right.
There
So,
you
anyways,
go. Good deal.
going back to the exemption for the ELD, as I read that, I think a farm vehicle, regardless of plate, is exempt.
Yep. Yeah. Now, was that an exemption just strictly for the hours of service regulations,
Yes.
or was that regulations in general?
No, I believe that is. Oh, Chad says he will. He's coming back onto the show. He's accepted the challenge. So this was over here. So yeah. Well, damn, I don't know what's
So
going on
exemptions.
with my internet today. Really slow. But this was under the
Needs a
Highway
reboot.
Traffic Act.
Okay.
So let's see if I can show you up here. Regulation. So it's the regulations for the Highway Traffic Act.
Yep. Okay.
And-
Okay. Cool. Cool.
Yeah, here we go. Come on.
There it goes. Slowly loading.
Let me get some
Slowly
nuts.
loading.
I got to get some nuts and feed the damn squirrels.
Yeah.
Number 3 of this list is exemptions. And
Cool.
so it was, I have to check. That was a really good question, actually, John. I got
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, because I was wanting to make sure, because the next thing you're going to bring up, I want to make sure that they're not exempt from that.
That, oh, yes. And there's Chad's answer, as he says he's not an expert, but he does believe farmers are exempt. So that's pretty cool. Now, I gotta remember, there's an easy way to remove the comments from the screen, and I forget how to do it.
You
the
did
easy
have it
way.
once before. There you go.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I did figure it out, but anyways. So I just wanted to ask you because you've got different trucking experience than I got. I just wanted to know if you knew that.
yeah, unfortunately, I don't know a lot about farmers. You know what? I'm of the mindset. You know what? A truck is a truck is a truck. A driver is a driver is a driver. You all better comply to the rules. I don't care what your exemptions are. But
Well, and-
unfortunately, there are certain exemptions.
Yeah, there are. I did want to talk about this.
Yeah.
Paid sick days coming to federally regulated carriers. Now, I did put the link to this article in the show notes below, but you see the date, February the 1st.
February 1.
All right, so this is really recent, and I know, John, you know who Carol is, but Carol McPhee Wallace is a transportation lawyer, one of whom I have high respect for, by the way. But whether I respect her or not really doesn't matter. Look at what she's writing. And what I wanted to ask you is your opinion about how this, all right, so it goes on in the article to say if you're a federally regulated carrier, you're going to have to supply 10 sick days to your employees. So, oh, look at that right there. It just happens to say 10
Yeah.
days right there.
Yeah.
So I'm linking this to what we talked about a few weeks back, Driver Inc. If not Transport Canada, if Revenue Canada and ESDC, I want to say,
Something like that. Yep.
are cracking down on Driver Inc., will this, how is this going to affect the whole thing? And there's two parts of that question. How is it going to affect the drivers, and how is it going to affect the companies? What's your take?
Let's add a little bit to this, because there are some other federal regulations currently in play which are not being, how do I want to say this? They're not being offered up or shared with the Driver Inc. model, and they're eligible to these things. So like overtime. After 60 hours, federally regulated carriers, after 60 hours, you're required to pay time and a half. I don't know very many carriers that do that, and it doesn't help that your drivers are paid on a mileage basis versus an hourly basis. But nonetheless, there are a number of luxuries, I'd like to say, available to federally regulated employees. And under a Driver Inc. model, those are not being shared over. So Driver Inc. drivers are missing out. But as we touched on earlier, Driver Inc. carriers would have to pay more for this, because they'll have to pay their drivers 10 sick days. And the truck's not turning, but they'll have to pay it out of their pocket. And it'd be like, ouch, they're not going to like that. Just like they don't pay overtime because, well, I got to pay that out of their pocket. Ouch.
Yeah, so I think this is really interesting. I think, just quickly, for a carrier who wants to change from Driver Inc. model, this is a disincentive. But for the drivers who would like to change, it would be an incentive. So
correct. Well, and it's been proven time and time again that the driver pay model under a federally regulated mandate process is an advantage to the driver. So be an employed driver rather than Driver Inc. You will actually make more money in the long run. And Chad wants to know, can you give a brief description of what Driver Inc. means? So Driver Inc. is a driver who is basically like a subcontract driver or an owner-operator is what they like to kind of do, but they don't own anything. They don't own a darn thing other than maybe a pair of mitts and a pair of shoes, but they don't bring anything to the table as far as equipment or responsibilities of owning equipment or being responsible for that equipment. So a driver is somebody that just drives a truck.
Typically, they're self-employed. They could be incorporated. They don't, although we refer to them as Driver Inc., most of them are incorporated, but they have to be by any means. But under the CRA rules, they probably don't meet self-employment, because the big one for me is there's no chance of profit or loss. There's no chance of a loss because they got no equipment in the game. Anyways, great question.
And you're only working, usually you're only working for one employer.
Anyways, Driver Inc., just for Chad's info, a couple of weeks ago, John and I did talk about an article that ESDC had. I guess they spoke at Fleet Safety Council. Isn't that where it came from?
They did. I was part of that meeting. So yeah, it was really good.
And so they said CRA is going to crack down on the Driver Inc. model, and it may also affect the owner-operator model, which John and I have a video about that. So click in for that.
Well, and interesting enough, I actually I was out doing an evaluation week and a half, 2 weeks ago with a client, and interesting enough, he's got a mix of Driver Inc. and payroll drivers, very similar to a lot of carriers, and he was saying he would rather have all payroll, but he said, I wish there was a law in place that would make Driver Inc. illegal. And the sad part was, it's like, there is. There is laws in place. So I said the problem lies in the fact of enforcement. So with EC or ESDC now talking about enforcement, that might be the tickler that needs to be. But the drivers need to stop demanding this profile, and the carriers need to put their foot down and say no more. So
Well, and yeah, it's going to be an ugly mess for a little while, I suspect. The last topic today, well, actually, I got one more topic, but
sure.
vehicle defects. Where am I? We're supposed to be talking about CVOR here. So this is under the module 8 of the CVOR safety manual, and vehicle defects specifically is what, now I lost my spot, of course, but vehicle defects. How in the world are you supposed to report vehicle defects?
There's a protocol for this.
Well, they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And
Well,
every
well, the
company's
first
supposed
one, the first one is by recording the defect on your daily vehicle inspection report.
Well,
That's
there we
one.
go. And then we're supposed to report the vehicle defect. And look at this word.
Yes.
I like this word. Immediately.
Yep.
And my question to you is, does it have to be, or does it need to be, or should it be in writing?
Well, my understanding is, and talking to a couple of carriers that do it very well, is so just back up one step first. Recording and reporting, two different topics, two different things, and people need to understand that they're not the same. Recording is recording like on a DVIR. Reporting is, hey, I pick up the phone or I communicate with my operations staff and say, hey, I've got a flat tire and this needs to be corrected right away. And from what I understand, operations is required to record that report.
So, and Chad's company here says, hey, Ready Check does that.
That's sweet, Chad. Awesome.
So yeah, you've got to report it. And then, John, again, for a minor defect, can you drive with a minor defect? Let's say it that way.
Yes, you can. But you're still required to report it and record it.
Can you drive with a major defect?
No, you're not supposed to. That's bad.
You're not supposed to. No, John. You can't. It's against the law.
You cannot drive with a. Unfortunately, we find too many people that do, but that's bad. But yes, you're not supposed to be driving with a major defect.
I should have worded the question differently, because of course you can drive with a major defect if the truck moves. I should have
exactly.
The question should have been, can I legally drive with a major defect?
Right. Yes. No, you can't. Okay. You cannot legally drive it with a major defect. Park it. Don't go past go. Stay put now.
And of course, John and I both have our insurance backgrounds, and I know that you can drive with a major defect. And you could even say to the officer, oh my God, it must have just happened, sir. Of course, many major defects don't just happen, but can you imagine if you're in a crash? That would be just awful. So,
Well, and the officers are pretty darn smart. They can tell looking at that defect if that's something that just happened or that's something that happened a few days ago.
Yeah. And then let's get to the last topic very quickly, and then we're going to wind this up, because I didn't know about this, Johnny. You said you did. For everybody out there.
I think about a year ago I signed up for this, to be honest with you, and I didn't think nothing of it. So
well, there. What this is Ontario is no longer sending out reminders when your driver's license expires, when your health card expires, or when your personal plates expire. So some of us can sign up for electronic reminders, which I think is a great idea, except look at driver's license is only for the G, the M, and the GM. So I don't qualify for the driver's license.
No, neither do I.
The license plate sticker, I don't qualify for the license plate sticker because my car is owned by my company. Therefore, it doesn't work for me.
So it's only personal vehicles.
Yeah, apparently.
Okay. Yep.
And then the health card one, I'm not sure why when I tried to get the reminder in there, I should check. Maybe mine's expired already, but it wouldn't go in there either.
Oh,
But
really? Oh, because, yeah, I just actually just renewed my health card here recently, and I received reminders. My license stickers were due in January, and I received notification, I believe it was back in November, letting me
that's
know
it.
that my stickers needed to be
Happy
renewed.
birthday in January. I forgot, Johnny.
Ah,
So,
it's just adding another number to what my number already is, so don't make it bigger.
so I just thought this was cool. They can email you, text message
Yeah.
you, and automated
Yeah.
phone call you. So, and when I tried to register, I checked off all three for God's sakes. But I just thought that I don't know why I didn't know that, but I didn't know it, so I just wanted to make sure people know
There you
about it. And
go.
I did put that in the show
Yeah.
notes down below. All right.
See, that just proves to everybody, we learn something new every day.
Damn. As old as I have. Damn, yeah. I mean, and I knew
Yeah.
that they weren't sending out reminders anymore in the mail, which I think is great because it's expensive as heck to send out those
yeah.
reminders. But
Well, and most everything else we get online. Like we hardly get any mail anymore. It's more junk mail than anything. But we hardly get any mail because everything is electronic. We get notifications, our bank statements, our bills, our utility bills and whatnot are all online. Yeah, it just simplifies the process.
and you're wondering, what the heck am I reaching for? Right? I've got, whoopsie, I've got these little cards that I send out every now and again because every now and again I remember people only get bills in the mail. So I like to try to send out a card and just to
Good
say,
idea.
thank you. Like these are blank cards.
Yeah, perfect though.
Well, yeah, and because who in the heck gets anything in the mail? And guess who taught me that? I'll give a shout out there to Mr. Kim Richardson.
Good idea.
Kim said, hey, and by the way, for our listeners, he says it's got to be handwritten. It can't
I
be
agree.
typed or anything. It's got to have some effort on your part.
Well, it gives some personal touch to it.
Yeah. And of course, people can't read my handwriting, but they get Safety Dog and they go, oh, well, he wrote me something. I mean, hopefully it wasn't important because I can't read it. And John, I think we've hit a new all-time high. We've got 2 viewers.
Woo! Two.
I don't know who the second one is. They didn't say hi in chat or anything, but if you want to say hi, I'll give you, one of us would give you a shout out. But
There you
on
go.
that note, Johnny, it's been heaven. Always good talking to you. Hey, and our last Trucking Risk and Insurance podcast had Jamie Irvine from the Heavy Duty Parts Report on there. We are, Chad's invited. I don't have anybody lined up for this Friday, John.
Hey,
So,
Chad, what are you doing Friday?
yeah. So we'll see what happens there. We got to get something in the books, you and I. So we'll talk about
Perfect.
that off radio.
Yep.
Off radio.
Sure. Sounds like a plan.
What is this? We're doing something. Anyways, John, thanks for joining me on
Glad you
the
invited me.
Secrets of a Safety Dog, and tune into the Trucking Risk and Insurance podcast. And Chad says he'll be there. We'll talk, Chad.
Perfect.
Okay,
Good
because
deal. Looking forward to it. See you all Friday.
Chad from Ready Check. All right, talk to you later. Thanks, my friend.
Yep. Take care.